Hello and welcome to Board Game Gumbo. Today we're unboxing the expansion for My Little Scythe called Pie in the Sky. So My Little Scythe came out in 2017 and this is the first expansion for it. It does add 2 new player factions, but the game still plays 1 to 6 players and it still takes about 45 minutes to play. So here we have some of the new player pieces. So there are 2 new factions in the game. If you've ever played My Little Scythe, you'll know that each faction comes with 2 seeker miniatures, and they're these anthropomorphic animal figures. So we've got foxes here, and then we have owls. The game also comes with an airship, so a bit like the Wind Gambit expansion for Scythe. This game will have an airship in it, except instead of there being an airship for every player, there'll just be 1 single airship that all players will move around the table. And obviously, you'll have to put a little bit of construction effort into this one, but not too much. The airship moves by this new die, which is included. So if you roll a 6, which there are 2 spots with 6s, you can move the airship up to 6 spaces. If you roll the trophy, you can move the ship up to a number of spaces equal to the number of trophies you have left to place out on the board. Just like Scythe, this game plays up till somebody plays their last trophy. And this game does include a new trophy for each faction because now the game plays up to 5 trophies instead of 4. So these are just little cardboard tokens, and they all punch out really well. We've got the new pieces for the different factions included. So we've got the little starter piece for the foxes and the starter piece for the owl right here. And then we've got some additional upgrade tokens here. These other pieces here are for the different special abilities for the airship, which each faction has their own board for controlling the airship. And so you can see that there's one for each faction. You can play with your faction's board, or you can just simply shuffle these up and deal them out randomly. This one, I believe, is actually for the solo play. So we'll put that off to the side. But you can see that there's one for each faction. And some of them have this little gear at the bottom. That means that their special ability on their ship revolves around this little token. So at the start of the game, if you're using this ship, you'll start with your token there. And then during the course of the game, you may put out that token. So there's a couple things here. One, there's an extra spot for a trophy. This is where your 5th trophy will go. And again, now you'll play the game until somebody puts out 5 trophies. And then you have an ability here, either an activated ability or an innate ability like this one here. When you move the airship, you can do a couple different things with it. When you end the move, you can either collect a resource that the airship is now on. If it ends it has to end in a spot where there's a resource, either an apple or a gem. You can pick it up essentially and place it into your cargo hold. And now your cargo hold you can use as if your characters have that resource. Even when you're delivering to the center, you can use whatever's in your cargo hold as if you had it on your character. You can even pay quests with it. So it's very helpful to have things in your cargo hold. The other thing you can do is you can activate the ability. On this one, the ability says you can move the harpoon token, which will be on your card, onto the board where the airship currently is. And then you can spend any number of apples or gems from the harpoon space when you perform a make action. You lose 2 friendship if these are taken from another player. So basically you can put out this little harpoon. It kind of acts like a building in reference to the original Scythe, where you can use resources on that space as if you control them. which is obviously pretty helpful. And all of these have their own little special abilities. But those are the abilities for the Airship. You've got a few new cards in here. Every player at the start of the game will get a new Seek action card. And these Seek cards are very similar to the ones you get at the start of the game, except now it includes the spaceship die at the end here. And you have a few more quests to add into your quest deck as well. We've got our rule book here, explaining the new rules for this expansion. We've got the rules for the single player. And then you got a new little achievement sheet at the bottom of the game to fill out if you like filling out achievement sheets. One other thing I will mention before we finish is this is one of the early editions of this expansion, and there were some oversights. So if you happen to get one of these early expansions, you'll notice that there are no player pawns for the two new factions, and you need to request a little additional upgrade kit from Stonemaier, which will include another Seek card, the friendship and pie tokens for the new factions, as well as their player pawns. As I said, the new factions don't allow you to play with any more player count in the base game because the game already played 6 players. But one of the nice things, if you already own the base game, is that there are already spots available for these new factions in the base game. So there's not going to be any issue with getting your new pieces into the base game or having to carry around an extra box. You can just drop everything in like the originals and enjoy your game. And that's it. That's everything you're going to get in the expansion for My Little Scythe called Pie in the Sky.